way. I think I'm getting your question, but the self-doubt will come if you are trying too many different things. And I did that as well. Like I moved from finance to general management, I moved countries, continents. So if you want to, remain happy and continuously have a little bit of a more methodical career progression, then stay within your function in your own core. That might help actually. So like in Cummins, people move around in many different functions. I've seen people who are in HR becoming general managers. I've seen people like me in finance becoming general managers. I've seen engineers doing finance work and operations work. So Cummins was slightly different and has always been very different, and it's actually good in the front part of your career. But I think so that you're learning a lot and you're meeting a lot of new people. But in the back end of your career, at least when you're wanting to grow, let's say you're aspiring for positions, then staying within your core function is going to be critical, because that's where you're going to be able to deliver your best value. And that's where eventually, as you go up and up and you get to a certain age and certain life, the corporate's perspective is that you are best in your own function. That is just my personal experience. It can be different with somebody else, but that's just my personal experience. So if you're an engineer, then stay within engineering. If you are like a finance person, then stay within finance. If you are in sales and marketing, then stay within sales and marketing. That's where you will probably succeed more than moving around.
Thank you.
And the self-doubt then will disappear, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so I remain the same function, but I am in environment, health, and safety. So I keep on changing organization. So I work with automobile, then now I'm to cement. Now I'm with chemical industry. So changing the industries and getting to the roles and all. So that sometimes create this, but I think I am in the same function. So that is one
Good.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Divakar. We're gonna go to somebody else. Sachin.
Yep. Thanks, Milin. My question is just a continuation to Divakar's
You're
question.
breaking up. I cannot hear you,
So,
Sachin.
I started my career in
Sachin,
engineering and now continuing in engineering.
Sachin, you can't hear you. So maybe check your network. We'll go with someone else now.
Yeah, let me go to
Can you
Lavanya now
hear
next on my screen, and then we can get back to Sachin once his audio is good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lavanya.
Thanks, Milan, for this amazing session. It was really informative. I have follow-up question with Jaya. I also have the same question what Jaya asked. You mentioned hard work is the key. I have a question like how we can manage hard work and our personal life. How to if we are doing hard work, we are missing in balancing personal life. So how we can manage that?
Yeah, it's good that it's a question coming from a lady, because I don't know, Lavanya, what you can do, whether I can do in my life. And so, first of all, hats off to you, all the super women here on the chat and otherwise on the call, and otherwise, the women that I've encountered in my life. It is a difficult task, and especially in our cultural environment, and then even so working in India, even now in this modern world, the expectations, um, even the subtle expectations, right? I'm sure some women would agree. Even the subtle expectations or the implied expectations from a lady is very different, right? You're expecting to take care of kids, you're expecting to take care of the home, you're expected to take care of the work as well. And then you're actually good at work. So I think um, balancing life is important, balancing work life is important. As I told you that, you know, family is very important. So unless uh, so I'm not saying you should be the only one, like as a woman who should be doing the sacrifices. The key to success in that situation might be to have a more understanding partner or understanding family where you are both able to balance it out, right? I've seen so many people in the US, at least, and I'm sure now it happens in India as well, who are balancing both the careers, right? Both the jobs. And they do it in phases. So, like, I've had people who come and work for me and tell me that, oh, my husband's traveling this week, so my travel cannot be that week, my travel will be the other week. And so they balance it out that way. Or they will come back and say, guess what? You know, I am going to succeed. but I'm going to do a stay at home job, right? Like work from home job forever because the other partner is working. It doesn't have to be like, oh, the husband's out and the lady's in. It can be the other way around as well. The woman can be out and the guy can be in. But then if they balance it out like that. The last thing I would say, and I'm not sure if I'm answering the question correctly, but the last thing I would say is that money is important, very important, but it's not the ultimate. So make sure that you have your own individual evaluation and assessment of whether you are wanting to do better and better in life at work because of money, or is it just your own self ambition to rise up? Because at some point in time, you want to balance. As I said, family comes first. That moment will pass where you have compromised with the family and you will not realize. You will not realize. I will give you an example, Lavanya. My wife is fabulous. She is an amazing teacher. She can be an interior decorator. She can be a principal of a school. She's got teaching background, as well as she can design clothes. She can do many different things very well, and then she can be a great family person as well. But she chose intentionally not to have a full-time career that was so demanding like mine because she just wanted to raise our kid, and so she did work part time and she did, as much as she wanted to. And even now she's teaching. And I think I may be long gone and retired, but she'll keep working. So it's like your time will also come in future whenever you want to, is what I wanted to say. So those things are really important. I'm sorry, I may not have answered your question totally, Lavanya, but hopefully there was some important inputs there.
Yeah, definitely it helps. Thank you so much, Milan.
Okay. I've got MP Indalkar next,
Yeah.
and he's from Cummins.
Thank you so much, Miran, for really useful insights and advice. I still remember the day when NRP was Best Entity in CMD Awards, and that's the first time I met to you through Sanjeev.
So nice to meet you again.
Yeah, thank you. So I think I got maybe already my questions answered with like some other folks asking, but probably like maybe one thing I want to check, like if, and you mentioned about family's priority, and that's what I'm doing for last like 6-7 years, with making sure like wife gets started with maybe teaching part-time job, because she is exactly similar to what you said about your wife, but like she want to go and maybe get her career better, and at the same time I have kid in college, like daughter in college, who want to like be entrepreneur and get that set up in maybe IT industry startup. So I get confused, like should I like keep maybe fighting for my career being selfish, or like prioritize more to these guys to get what they need, and then when I become empty nester is where I was thinking like to go after for that last stint of career to scale up.
Right.
Any advice on that? Yeah.
Well, that's a tricky one because it's very personal question.
Yeah.
So, it is up to you and your wife and your, children, as you say, your children are growing up, to decide what suits you. But um, try to experiment in life is all I can say.
Yeah.
Not for you, but in general to people, right? I was as much as everything that I've spoken today and the like I always say, it's easy to talk rather than to practice. Is that I've been always a very methodical, structured, black and white, organized, planned person. It's not always good. It's not always good, and so it's okay to experiment in life. So you may, the only advice I give you, right? I'm just creating a hypothetical situation. So again, please don't go and do exactly what I'm telling you because it's your personal life and you need to be sure that works well for you and your family, but and you're consulting them. But it's like take a year and see, right? If you guys change courses, how it goes. And then accordingly you can decide. So try to experiment and God and life will automatically show you the way.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
if you're pretty rigid to say no, this is the only way, then you'll never know what could have happened otherwise.
Thank you so much.
All right, Radhika is next. Radhika, you're on mute in case if you're talking.
I'm trying to unmute myself. Hi, Milan.
Hi.
Thanks for your lovely, inspiring speech. I would say, like, any point in time, have you made any wrong decision in choosing your career? And how long it took for you to bounce back with your full energy? Because sometimes I feel that if you take a wrong decision and you realize in course of time that you have taken a wrong decision, it's getting difficult to bounce back to the fullest energy. So, did you had any experience similar to that? Like, and do you wanted to share anything how to bounce back?
Yeah, it means plenty, right? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, it's not all rosy, right? For everybody, 24/7 for 40 years. It can never be the situation. Um, the one I would like to first say that uh, when you start trying to reflect those kind of things, you want to be making sure that when you say that, oh, I did this wrong in life, or I did this big mistake, I shouldn't have done it, make sure that it's something that's life changing and life threatening for you, because we give too much importance to small setbacks in life. Okay, so that is not a mistake, that is not a wrong in life. If you did something crazy, like you did crime, or you basically hurt somebody so much that somebody had to go into depression, or do something else in life, that is probably a mistake or something that you did wrong in life, and you want to reflect on that. So make sure that when you talk about and reflect on your wrongs and mistakes, you think about big changing things. We give too much importance to small setbacks and small situations. So one, I don't want people to do that, right? Because I have done that, and that's not good. And it's not like it's fine, like, okay, I did this and it turned out to be that, but it didn't turn anything. My family is still happy, I have decent financial security, I have great parents, I have everything. So like, why should I cry, right? So I want to make sure that we give that context. But professionally, I think I gave one advice, right? I think it wasn't a setback necessarily, but yes, but at that point in time, I thought it's not no longer a regret. It turned out to be the best decision of my life. In fact, now that I think about it, but at that point in time, and after 10 successive years with Cummins and being in, like really good levels of finance leadership and having amazing champions and sponsors and mentors who were ready to, just help me so much in Cummins, and I was riding a high, I changed everything. I went to India. I went to India in a general management role in a totally different culture. So even though as Cummins is as international and as global and diverse, it's not the same everywhere. No company is exactly the same everywhere. And so I struggled with the culture initially in India, and I struggled being out of the function because I had to learn that much more. But then I learned a lot about quality from Sanjeev, product quality. I learned a lot about manufacturing engineering. I learned a lot about customer account management. I learned a lot about product engineering. So uh, nothing goes waste, is what I would say. Um, yeah, that's probably I should stop here, Radhika, because if I go into the details, it kind of goes into the small setbacks, and I don't want people to stop
Yeah,
taking chances and experimenting in life. The wrongs would be that if you're hurting your family, the
well
wrongs,
said. Well
yeah, the
said.
wrongs,
Okay.
the wrongs would be if you're just being too selfish, thinking about yourself, and somebody else is actually compromising on your behalf. The mistakes would be something that if you're not spending enough time with your family in life, which has happened to me because of my global career. But those are the things that I would probably regret and consider it as part of my destiny, that wish I would have spent more time with my parents, wish I would have not hurt my family in certain situations as much. But that is something that you should reflect on, not the professional stuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Great.
All right, who else? We have 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
So I would
Question.
go with one last question, Balesh.
Okay.
Yeah, I have several questions, but I'm very much thankful to hearing your insightful, not story, it's your life story. Okay. Uh, I already connected because I am also finance guy. I shifted to tech. I wear the technical shoes. Then I shifted. I am the now chief operating officer in one MNC. Okay, but when we're talking about the Divakar question, that's you back to go core is you will be more grown. You will be more grown on that case also. And coming back that in your life because you gone back to the business level management and general manager level and now you are back to your core now. So how you feel, because this is what you like, you are getting any happy or a success life in here? That is my question.
So the satisfaction and the how would I say, the job satisfaction or the fulfillment is some other things now. That is what it used to be before. So when I'm back into the core, right now I'm in a small to mid-sized company, and they've had really disastrous implementations of ERP systems. They've had disastrous situations of the entire team leaving the company as I was joining. So like when I joined, everybody had left already, or they were just on their way out. So I had to recreate and rebuild the entire team right from scratch. And so we are still backed up on so many, and you are a finance person, so you realize we are still backed up on so much of prior years financial accounting, financial audits, tax returns, and things like that, that I'm doing stuff that I was doing 25 years back as a chartered accountant intern. And so, but that is, but I'm still doing it at a different level. So the value that I bring here, or the fulfillment to myself, is not about getting, you know, dirty work done, or when you're getting your hands dirty, right, all over again. When I had thousands of people or hundreds of people working for me previously, this is about building a team. This is about building a culture. This is about building a vision for the future. This is about leaving a legacy for myself. And this is about helping the entrepreneur who's the owner of the business succeed, and his business succeed eventually, as well as creating job opportunities and, you know, careers for young and new people in finance and accounting, right, where they can take a lot out of my experience, you know, maybe working with me or looking at me how I operate, and maybe get something in return for themselves, right? So this is about all of that right now.
No, that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kaushalendra, you had one question. Go ahead. Maybe. Yeah, we have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, Milind sir, very good evening and thanks. Very good morning and thanks for this insightful session, sir. Just wanted to let you know that I've been very much successful in my business development career so far, okay. But I want to target the higher positions and just need your guidance how to do it, sir.
um, that's again independent. I would say networking is good. Doing the right thing is good. I wouldn't say, as I said, don't do shortcuts, right? Don't do, like, sometimes a lot of people, you know, smooch around people and stuff like that. I'm not that type of a person. That helps. So it just depends on how individually you feel comfortable doing whatever you want to do. But networking helps with senior leaders. Having good mentors helps. Having good communication skills of being able to express your aspirations helps. So do not wait all the time. It is okay to go talk to somebody and take feedback or give feedback at senior levels of management, and tell them that this is what you have done, here is where you are, here is what you want to do, and they'll help you to get there, right, wherever you want to get it. But if you don't network, and if you're not expressing yourself or your aspirations and being clear about what you're gonna want and what you're gonna be happy with, then people are not going to be able to guess it. It's not easy. It's like so many people, millions of people. It's very difficult. So networking is definitely important. And then the other aspects I already told you, right? Making sure that you're working hard, you're staying focused, and you're delivering the results that are expected of you.
Okay, Milind. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but there's no secret to senior levels of leadership, because otherwise we'll all be billionaires and we'll all be CEOs of our own companies, right? So there are only few of those.
Yeah. Manoj, go ahead. I think then we'll start. Milind, I asked Milind for 30 minutes. We already took 60 minutes. It's great. But yeah, thank you, Milind. Go
Can you,
ahead.
one thing, Sanjeev, before there's a little bit of a chat here. It's not a lot of messages, but is there a way you can pick the chat and later on send it to me? In case if there's a question on the chat, we can respond later.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think
Okay, go ahead, Manoj, your second round of questions.
Yeah, last question from me. What do you do for being healthy in your day-to-day lifestyle, since you are being on the big role and maybe traveling multiple locations? What do you do for your everyday life for making your living being healthy?
Yeah, so I already said that I'm a big sports person and I play a lot of sports. So that keeps me healthy mentally and physically. So I play competitive tennis in USTA. I walk a lot and exercise in terms of walking at least 3-4 days a week. I try to eat healthy in the sense that I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat at all. I've never been a non-vegetarian my entire life, so I think that's gonna put me in good situation. Um, those are the few things, and then being part of my spiritual journey keeps me mentally at peace, right? And having good friends, all these things are important because they all keep you healthy. It's not just there's a mental aspect to the health as well, besides the physical aspect to the health and being fit and energetic. So I think all those combination of things is important. But uh, I would say that if you're just talking about the physical aspects, and I'm not that added good myself in practicing it, is as you grow older, your food habits should improve. It's not okay to eat anything and everything. It's not. Try to reduce the quantity or try to reduce certain things that are not good for you. Do your health checkups regularly so you know which parameters and your statistics are great and not that great, and so that you're very much self-aware of your own body and your own health. Sleep well. This is the best exercise ever. I have not had enough in my life. So now I'm really conscious about it, that sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day is very, very, very important. I would never underestimate that aspect in life. Um, so yeah, having 30-40 minutes of exercise of any kind or play or sports play 3 to 4 days a week, eating healthy and sleeping and having good friends and good family is the success to life.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
And you are appearing very similar when you left India, Milan, like, and you're not grown older physically.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you
I'm
so
feeling
much.
like, yeah, I'm feeling like you're becoming more anger and anger. So only last question, Milind. Maybe I think I don't need to send you this text. I think here it is from Sachin Mangave. He says, I'm core technical engineering background, never paid attention to business function. How it's important to have a flavor of finance to be a CXO role.
Oh, very important in the sense that if you want to go to a C-suite level role, whether it is in IT or whether it is in HR or whether it is in operations, um, having background about business is important, and having knowledge and exposure to all functions of the business is important. There is an easier way to get there, in the sense it's not as easy, but it's still an easier way. Rather than having different titles and different roles in different functions to get that experience, I would always suggest do an MBA if you can, and if you can afford to. And it doesn't have to be like um, a really expensive one, affluent university all the time. It can be a decent MBA in your hometown or whatever, but having that MBA background gives you a crash course in all aspects of the business and gives you network of people, as well as gives you opportunities to learn different cases of business in across various functions. So having an MBA helps if you want to move across functions and you want to get some quick crash course leadership lessons and networking as well. So that would be my advice.
Thank you so much, Milind. I think this is, we started for 30 minutes, but now almost an hour. I would love to again continue maybe for another 10 to 15 minutes with the another exciting session with, like Milind mentioned, CXO role and all, right? How people can go to that level. So Krishna is going to share a little bit, Krishna being, CEO in multiple companies. So, Milind, it is up to you. If you want to stay, stay. It is, but if you want to leave, that's also okay.
Yeah, I would like to leave now because it's been over an hour, and it's Saturday morning. So the one thing I can tell you, right, if people have watched Coffee with Karan, this Karan Johar has a bad habit of bringing the same people again and again. You can bring me back again, Sanjeev, if you wish to. Okay, talk to you guys later.
I
Bye.
will. I will. Maybe after maybe another 3 months, Milind. Yeah, but similar to you, if you have some other names that definitely would like to bring people like you or whoever you suggest. So amazing session. We learned a lot. I think hope everybody got a lot of things. So thank you and talk to you soon, Milind. Bye.
Yeah, if you don't mind, if you can get this copy of the chat for me, that would be nice so that I can also network with everybody. Okay.
I'll send you. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank
now
you.
we are going ahead with our the next session, right? So I couldn't share, but now I'll start with, last time we talked about, there are people who are interested to go to C-suite roles like, CTO, CXO, CFO, COO, or CEO, any other roles. And M Krishna being the CEO himself, in multiple industries. So we have come up with a program just to give you what exactly it looks like. I will show some slides. Maybe Krishna sir, I want you to just take it through, and then if you are interested, enroll. There is a form available, but if not, it is up to you. But I just wanted to let you know, what this is, just to help the community and then grow the community in a separate fashion, other than this whatever success network that we have started on Saturday. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. That will give you more.
Sanjeev, I will need 5 minutes for me to get back to my computer. Is it
Okay.
okay with the people, or we can do it next week? It
No,
depends on how people are held up today.
no, I will start with my thing. Then definitely you can take, maybe we can start after 10 minutes, right? Let me go ahead.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'll start with my presentation slides. How to
Sure.
say no. I prepared something just to share with this group, that, and then also we have a little bit of discussion. So it may go maximum about 30 minutes with Q&A, and everybody can bring their insights. But I'm going to share my screen. Let me know, and then we'll come back.
Sure. Thanks, Sanjeev.
Thank you. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the power of no. Last time this session, a lot of people asked this question, how to say no? Because we always, as an Indians or many people, we always say yes to everything, and there's a lot of work, right? So if you master strategic refusal for long-term success, so how to do that? So the average person makes almost 35,000 decisions in a day. Just think about it. And then 40% of those to-do lists never get completed due to overcommitment. We always say yes. And successful people like CEOs, CXOs, they are defined by what they choose not to do. So we always say yes, and we land up with so much of work. And your most valuable resource is attention, not time. So how do you get attention to the right projects, right goals? And every yes is no to something else, right? So make sure you are not saying yes to everything, because when you say yes, you are saying no. For example, Milin said tennis playing, right? If you say no, I'll do this work, sir, today evening I'll finish it, then you miss that playing of cricket or tennis or your exercise, anything. So how do you balance that? The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no almost everything. This is coming from Warren Buffett. I just would like you to, think and then remember this quote. If you want to be very successful, then learn to say no to everything. And always, psychology of saying no. The yes bias is hardwired. We always say, right? Hey, yes, I'll do it. We socially conditioned to agree. 69% of people experience anxiety when declining requests, because if you say no, what that person will say, my family member, he's senior. So we always have that anxiety. That's how we say, okay, yes, yes. In a hurry, we always say yes, and we add more work. Saying no to activates the same brain region as physical brain. So our brain doesn't understand yes and no. So it's always the same brain, right? That works. 78% of professional report difficulty refusing. So as I mentioned, imagine 78 means almost 80% people say yes to everything, and they add more work, and they do not achieve their goal. They live their only salary to salary check. They never become entrepreneur. They never go and achieve big dreams they have, because they never know how to say no, right? Boundary setting correlates with higher life satisfaction scores. So when you have a boundary setting, you know exactly what is your role, what is your project, how much you want to achieve what. And once it is there, then you have much more success rate, right? You will be more satisfied. Half of the troubles of this life can be traced to saying yes too quickly and not saying too no soon enough. Right? This quote, most of the time we always say yes too quickly without thinking. The best answer is okay, hey, let me think, I'll come back to you. Right? Nobody says this. Then cost of yes. Professionals lose 2.1 hours daily to distractions and low value tasks, and 60% of managers report burnout due to inability or refuse new responsibility. They always say any new responsibility, okay, I'll take it, I'll add it, right? The average employee attends 62 meetings monthly, and 37% of those meetings add no value. So always think about which meetings you are attending. Are they really giving you that goal, the project, the outcome? Or if they are not, why to attend those meetings? Come out of those meetings and create your own time, right? Task switching costs up to 40% of productive time. Saying yes to non-strategic work costs Fortune 500 companies almost $450 billion annually. Think about it. Because always we end up with all non-strategic work. Non-strategic means not is in our goal, not is in our plan that we want to achieve. People think focus means saying yes to the thing you have got to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas. Steve Jobs. Focus, we always say focus on, okay? Focus means saying yes to the thing you got to focus on, but that's not what it means. It is saying no to 100 other things. You are saying, okay, there are 200 things to do. Out of 200, what are those three things that are more important? If I don't complete those three things, I'm not going to look into that 197 thing. That's the focus. Then strategic refusal framework. Evaluate request against your core values, right? What is your value? Like Milind mentioned, what is your priority? Calculate the opportunity cost for every commitment. Okay, if I say yes to this job, how much time I am going to spend on this and what I'm going to lose on the other tasks that are important, because everybody has 24 hours and we cannot do every job and everything. So always be strategic, be very methodical or structured to say yes. Apply the hell yeah, hell no rules, right? Basically, when you say yes, means you're going to do it. If you say no, you're not going to do it because it is not with your core value. So using 5-5-5 method, how will it matter in 5 days, 5 months, or 5 years? So whenever you want to do any task, always think about, okay, if I do this, is it going to impact me in next 5 days or next 5 months or 5 years? If it is going to impact in 5 years, yes, do it. If it is not, then why not? Why to waste on task that is going to no value after 5 days or 5 months, right? Think about it. Distinguish between urgent and important. So there is an Eisenhower matrix. If you Google it, you'll get that says urgent, important, right? If not urgent, not important. So based on that, you need to decide what exactly, because we always push important things to the next one, and then we try to do all those things that are not important, and then we create more urgency, and that will create more of a mess, right? The art of leadership is saying no, not saying yes. It's very easy to say yes. So if you want to be a good leader, you need to learn the skill to say no. So language, replace I can't with I don't. So basically, if you say, hey, I can't do it versus, hey, I don't have time, and this is the reason, right? Offer alternatives. Always say when you are saying yes, the redirecting no. So say that, hey, why you can't do it? Use the positive no sandwich. Yes, no, yes format. We'll look into this. Practice the 24-hour rule for non-urgent request, and then express gratitude before declining. So if you want to reject anything you don't want to do, so no is a complete sentence. It doesn't require an explanation to follow. So when, again, you cannot say no to your boss or senior leaders, but you can definitely say no to your subordinates or other people. So always balance whom you are talking and how you are talking, and where you want to say no clearly and where you have to be little bit diplomatic in saying no, right? Then effective ways to say no. One, we talked about I can't with I don't. So how to do it? For example, instead I can't attend that evening meeting. Instead of that, I don't attend meetings after 5 p.m. It's a completely different thing, right? I don't check emails on weekends is stronger than I can't check emails on weekends. So always say what is my preference, where what I love to do, right? This is how you can say effectively no, rather than saying, hey, I can't do this versus I don't this because of this, right? Then the redirecting no. How? First of all, acknowledge the request before saying no, decline it clearly, offer a specific alternative. For example, the project sounds valuable. I'm not able to take that lead, but Sarah has expertise in this area. Have you considered asking her? I would be happy to make an introduction. So, this is a complete different way of saying no. Okay, you are not saying no, you are saying giving an alternate solution, saying that, I do not want to do it, but there is a person better than me. She can take lead. Can you, or do you want me to help introduce her, right? So if you know people, always this is the best way to redirect the work, right? Then the positive yes, no, yes sandwich. Basically, first of all, affirm the relationship, validate the request, then no, clearly state your boundary, why you can't do it, and propose a positive alternative. Example, appreciate you thinking of me for this particular committee or whatever the meeting. Given my current priorities, I need to decline. No, I would be glad to review the final proposal or connect you with someone who might have more bandwidth. So it is all about the skill, how you articulate and get to know that, hey, we are not going to do this and this is the method. So it is a skill you have to practice. It's easy to tell or share this on the screen, but when you go and talk to people, it's always important for you to have those particular statements clearly written, rehearsed. You should be knowing, and you can always politely decline things using these methods. 24-hour rule, right? Why it works? Thank the person first time when you before you say. State that you need to check your commitment and promise a response within 24 hours. So before saying yes to anyone for any project that you don't like, always say, hey, thank you for considering me for this, right? For example, I need to review my current commitment to ensure that I give the attention it deserved. I'll get back to you tomorrow afternoon, and go back after discussion or after a thoughtful process, whatever you come back, right? So expressing gratitude before declining. So for example, okay, express a genuine appreciation first, decline, and then avoid over explaining. So never explain too much as well. Otherwise, people will say, you are making drama, or people will say, hey, you are not really respecting. So for example, I'm truly honored that you thought of me for this speaking engagement. After careful consideration, I need to decline. Thank you again for the opportunity. This is a different way of saying no versus direct no, right? So always take 24 hours before you say no. Then CEO time management principle, right? Strategies. 94% of executives who have greater than 10 million dollars of revenue, companies block deep work time. Means they block a deep work means it is a focused time. They do not have any distraction. They just focus what they want to do. This is how they complete their goals. Top performing CEOs spend 72% of their time on strategic activities. They don't worry about small daily tactical things. Bill Gates takes biannual think weeks with no meetings. If Bill Gates can take think weeks outside his all schedule, who are we can definitely take, right? We can say 2 hours block, no phone, nothing. I want to think about myself, my goal, what I want to achieve, how I can become my CXO, CEO, whatever. Then 85% of C-suite executive review their calendar weekly to eliminate low value commitment. If something on your calendar and it is low value, eliminate it, delegate it, or give it to someone else. Warren Buffett 525 rule. Identify top 5 priorities and avoid the top 20. Like I said, right? If you have 25 tasks to be done or project to be completed, 20, how do you eliminate and focus only on 5? Busy is a decision. Like any other choice we make, it is not imposed on us from the outside. So always we want to be busy, right? So but it's a choice. You what where you want to spend time with and where you want to be busy. Then tips. Be brief. Always when you say no, avoid sorry, hey, replace excessive apologies. Use the pause. A moment of silence after being asked creates space of a thoughtful response. So always somebody asks, then pause. Don't just respond, react, don't react. Then, like I said, pre-script, write it down. What are your standard responses so that once you know it, you can talk like that. Practical digital refusers. Set up email templates for frequent type of requests that you need to decline. For this kind of emails, I don't even want to, I want to say no, no, right? Remember, effective refusal is a skill that improves with practice. Each time you say no to something that doesn't align with your priority, you are saying yes to your most important goals. So, digital boundaries. 71% of executives check email during non-work hours. So we are always on emails, right? So this is only 32% of top performers do. High performers batch communication 2 to 3 daily blocks. So I am going to do, for example, 11 to 12. I only check emails. Remaining, I'll focus on my project. Then particularly, 3 to 4, I'm going to focus on a particular distraction, whatever. People can come to me, talk, chit chat, whatever it is. After that, I'm not available. Tech leaders like Jack Dorsey designate themes days for different types of work. Okay, Monday this type of meeting, Tuesday this type of meeting, Wednesday. So you can create themes how you want to work. 67% of peak performers do not disturb or aeroplane mode during deep work. So keep your phone on silent or aeroplane mode so that there is no distraction, no Facebook, no Instagram, nothing. Email response time expectation companies almost $10,000 plus per employee annually. So always we keep on sending emails, right? The key is not to prioritize what is on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So you have to prioritize and then schedule it on your calendar, right? No, as a leaders who protect their teams from interruption boost productivity by 23%. So always your team also, if you are a leader in a company and your team is working for some projects that are not important, then they are also wasting their time and they are not focusing on your projects, right? So how do you boost that? Just make sure that you have common understanding. Google's project Oxygen, there was a project, right? Respecting team focus time among top leadership trait. So how they really got this particular, Google is very good. If you go on YouTube or there are a lot of videos available, and Google also hosts a lot of events on terms of productivity, how you can really increase the team morale and then also get work done. 64% of high performing teams have clear no meeting zones. So do you have that? No meeting. For example, Friday, no meetings. I don't want to do anything, right? Transparent priority setting increases team satisfaction. So always guide your teams how they should be working, where they should be working. Otherwise, you will not accomplish your yearly goals or whatever you have, right? CEO calendar reflect company priorities. So if you want to check a company, go and check CEO calendar, right? That they should be spending more time on the strategic initiative. People think I'm disciplined. It's not discipline, it's devotion. There's a great difference. So when you are devoted, it means it's more than discipline, right? You will get things done. So these are the building no muscle. Start small. Practice saying no to minor requests first. Second, use reverse mentoring to learn refusal strategies. Then track regretted yeses and possibly regretted no's. How many times you say it. Create a decision framework where you want to say yes, where you want to say no. Schedule weekly review of your calendars and commitments. And you can be good. You can be a good person with a kind heart and still say no. So it means you cannot be bad for anyone. You can politely or kindly you can say no, right? So how to say yes? Your most important yeses come after confidence no. When you once you know what is your priority, then your strategic assets will come. 86% of high achiever report satisfaction with what they decline. So when you decline, you should know, yeah, it is not going to help me. I'm going to decline it. Saying no creates space for transformational opportunities, like we talked about. And top performers say to only 1 in 7 good opportunities. Means if there are 7 opportunities presented to you and they look all good, the good top performer always say, I'll pick only one, 6 are rejected, because everybody knows we don't have time for all of them, right? The highest ROI, return on investment, comes from aligning between values, goals, and commitments. The successful warrior is the average person with laser-like focus. When you have focused approach, what you want to say yes, then you'll get a lot of things achieved, right? And there are some books and references. If you want to go and read these books, right? They're very good, deep work. Rules for focused success in distracted world. And there is another book, Essentialism, very good, the disciplined pursuit of less. And Tim Ferriss' book, 4 Hour Work Week, very good book. James Clear's Atomic Habits, and Yuri Williams, The Power of Positive No. With that, I'll stop sharing, and then maybe we will talk. Anybody would like to share anything to the group? Thank you. There's a lot of text. I'm going to share this with you, and if you want, I have a presentation. I'll send the PDF copy of this to you. Anybody has any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Sanju.
Yeah.
It is outside of the India, it is okay, but in India, it is very difficult to say no. If it is, even though it is an impossible thing, it is very difficult to say no, because here in India's culture is thinking that if he is saying no, then it is taking as a negative.
Correct. I agree. So that's where in India also you need to learn. This is a skill, right? How do you manage people? Because when you say no to your boss, there is also a skill, right? Whether your relationship with that boss or the manager is in right finance, or is only like, hey, manager. And if you have a good bonding and good connection, you can still say no. But if you don't have, then you'll still have to face that thing, right? So when, like you say, in India as well, you can say no, but you need to be skilled, more skilled in terms of how to say no. Yeah, it's all about your connection, formal and informal connection, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now I'm going to share, sir, are you ready? We will.
Yes, go ahead, Sanjeev.
Okay, I'm going to start sharing the screen. Sorry. Okay, something happened, so I'm going to share again because there were many screens. Okay, I will go to the first one now. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, good evening, friends. Now, just hold on, Sanjeev. See, the idea when Sanjeev moved it to me was this. See, we all have thoughts in life to see how we progress ourselves in the career path. I think that is some of the many questions which I also could see during our discussion with Milind. Now, the idea is this. See, in all the MBA schools and everywhere, they actually talk about what the managerial requirement is. But not all MBAs become to C-suite. So there are something that is, little different when somebody is able to see a capability in you rather than yourself. That's where the real crux is in getting to C-suite, because many of the people, if you talk to, they have been chosen by their, C-suite people. Now, what is that specifically is able to be seen by them, which is not able to be seen by yourself? Now, this is something which is critical for all of us in the professional life as we go across, in the career path. Yeah, next slide, Sanjeev. So this is just a basic introduction to kindle your thought process. You see, go ahead, Sanjeev. Yes, next slide. you see, this is where, it's just a guideline. It's not something which is hard and fast rule, but this is how your career progression should be. Just go ahead, Sanjeev. All the three. Yeah. See, in the first, when you enter between 20 to 30 years is what your entry level is. Basically, you are on the learning phase, operational insight, and things like that. Between 30 to 40, you must pivot and widen and get to roles, which is what you will see in the green path. Now, this role with pivoting and widening is a must. Now, as you move between 20 to 30 in the learning phase and then between 30 to 40 in the knowledge phase, that is your move which will create you for getting into C-suite by 40, 45. Now, the beauty is this. If, yes, Sanjay, now if you're not in this phase, then that means, there is something which you need to introspect yourself. Now, this is to be done by yourself, not by outside, just to see in what age I am. Am I, moving across in this space? See, this is not a rule, but this is a very generalistic career path and progression that has been done over last maybe 30 years by great consultants. So this is where we should see for ourselves to see where we are currently today, and are we lacking or are we in progression. Now if you feel that there is some sort of a stagnation, I'm not able to move, then that is where we are trying to bring through this Saturday Success Network how we can help people who are thinking that they are little stagnation, they are not able to move, how to look for this type of progression. Yeah, next, Sanjeev. See, these are two basic quotes we know. Doing same things, again and again, and then expecting different results is insanity, which is Albert Einstein's thing. So if you have been there for say 30, 35 years and you've been doing the same thing, you can't expect different results to come. So there needs to be something different that you need to do. Similar as, winners don't do different things, but they do some things differently. So the idea is this. Next slide, Sanjeev. What do we need to do something different is what that, you need to achieve. See, for example, if you look at this program, we say that you have to discover yourself. If you see, Milind spoke about, human resource. That is critical. If you have to understand people, you have to understand yourself first, and then recognize other differences, and then adapt and practice. Go ahead, Sanjeev. So what the idea is, we are taking it through a well choreographed process for you to introspect and understand yourself. First is understanding the self, and then I'm going fast, excuse me for the time, so that it kindles your thought. We can meet up later. Next is, exceeding managerial expectations. Then committing to delivery performance of up and down. If you see, the first step is self, second is managing upwards, third is managing up and down, fourth is managing everybody in the community. So that is where you have a very clear, but this is apart from what you need to get from functional aspect. So this is a methodology that if one follows, and why I bring this across to Sanjeev is we have done this with almost, I would say about 3,000 people in the management associations. It has helped a lot. So idea was with Sanjeev that we should bring it here for people to, introspect themselves to see if they would need something like this to understand better what they need to see themselves in. So this is just an introduction to see and put your thoughts through to see if you could get it across on a larger perspective. Yeah, thanks, Sanjeev.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Anyone has any questions on this? I think I've seen few people have already enrolled to this, but I think if you guys, yeah, feel free. I'll forward the form. Okay. I think we have taken more than almost our 1 hour meeting, almost 1 hour 47 minutes now. So thank you all for joining in. So Kaushalendra, go ahead. You have a question?
My question is like, when we target the higher positions, okay, I think trust is one of the most important factors. And what we like to learn from Krishna is that how to create that thing, okay, because it's not like that it can be created in a day. And what should be the actions that people who are like me, who are stagnant as of now, but we should take to create that thing so that people recognize in that way.
That's correct, but the problem many times what happens, you think you are doing it, but others don't see it. This is a problem in the organization, I should say, especially with the boss, because we think we are doing everything correct, but boss does not see it that way. So it is not the problem with the boss. It is with you to see how you see yourself as being seen by others. That's where the real problem of every individual is. See, this is not only with respect to job, it's also with respect to family, because we think we are doing the best and others are not looking at it. So the idea is to see how you should see yourself as others will see it, So you said it right, it's a trust. So we think we are creating a lot of trust with maybe family people or, with organizations, but they don't see it that way. So we need to understand why they don't see it that way when we are thinking we are doing it. That's the crux. That's the missing link, what creates success in life. Well said, Mr. Dubeji. Yes.
Yeah, very good. Any other final comments, thoughts?
See, just to close here, Sanjeev, I'll tell you. See,
Yeah.
as Milind was talking about Bhagavad Gita, see, I'll tell you there are two ways you should look at. One is the law of karma, which is correct. Law of karma will take its course. But the same Bhagavad Gita says, karmanye vadikharase. Don't let your result drive as a feedback to your effort. So you must understand that is critical in Bhagavad Gita's story for practical life, that never leave your result to determine your effort. The moment even if you give a small iota of your result to have a negative impact on your effort will start going down. You will have a catastrophic impact. So never make this is difficult. As he said, preaching is easier than practice, but ensure that your efforts don't stop in spite of your results. That's the crux. So the idea of this is to ensure you understand better. See this, before I close, I'll tell you, in these sessions, people have cried themselves. Why? Because you start looking back to see, why am I behaving like this? So once you understand that, then you will understand how others are seeing you. So get on with the effort, continue with the effort. Doesn't matter of the result will have to come.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Sanjeev.
Thank you. I think next, right? Next week, I am traveling, so I'm not there, but I'm going to have another session next on the 5th of April. We'll see the next speaker as well. However, the next session is more important, the 10 mindset shifts that we all need to have in order to get successful, right? So there are different minds. We always have our own self-beliefs that holds us back, and if you think differently, how it could be. So that's what. But if you think something else is also important, we'll have a Q&A, and then also we'll have somebody as a great speaker. So thank you all for joining in, and really it's a great session, and I also learned a lot through this discussion. So thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a great day.